Ah, yes, because obviously you should be doing horror makeup at 1 a.m. instead of sleeping. Yes. Hello, friends. Good morning. It is 12:30 a.m. and I just finished Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. And ever since I was halfway through the book, I had this vision of a horror makeup look. So this is what we are doing. I also will be talking about the book itself while doing my makeup. So it's not necessarily a traditional book review. I didn't make notes or anything like that. I'm just casually going to be talking to all of you about it and all about my thoughts and feelings and things like that. It will be spoiler free. I am being fueled by Dutch Bros. If only they would sponsor me. Many disclaimers. I'm not a professional makeup artist, so I'm just simply having fun doing something that I love. I love horror makeup, and I was inspired by this lovely book that we will be talking about today. So let's just get started. Okay, okay, why am I so scared? All right, I'm just going for it. Anyways, Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. What a wild ride. Mr. Mercedes is all about this man that steals someone's Mercedes. I know, I wouldn't have guessed either. And he drives this said Mercedes into a crowd of people, killing 8 of them and injuring many more. Now, the police never end up catching him, and so in the book we flip-flop between Mr. Mercedes, who killed the people, his point of view, and the retired cop who was the one who was assigned the Mr. Mercedes case. But he is now retired. He gets this letter in the mail that is from Mr. Mercedes basically saying like, oh, how does it feel to be retired and to have never caught one of the greatest criminals and murderers? And he basically tries to get the detective, the retired detective, his name is Bill Hodges. He basically tries to get Bill to commit suicide, but the letter actually does the exact opposite, and Bill now has this resurrected sense of self and purpose. We get to follow his journey as he tries to solve the Mr. Mercedes case once and for all without getting the rest of the police involved. I loved this book. If you couldn't already assume. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was wonderfully, beautifully, magnificently, intelligently, any other words that end with "ly" that are positive, written. Is this book making me go slightly insane? Maybe, but I personally don't think I was ever sane to begin with. So this is why I am here at 12:30 a.m. doing my makeup, drawing an ice cream cone on my face instead of sleeping. I probably should explain what I'm doing with my makeup, like why I decided to make an ice cream cone, and that is simply because Mr. Mercedes is a very average guy. You know, he lives in his mother's basement, but he is actually, this is the backside of the book, he is an ice cream truck driver. I thought it would be kind of fun to make an ice cream cone on my face, like kind of like a bloody ice cream thing going on. I really don't know. But anyways, the way that Stephen King balanced the 2 points of view, how on one hand, you get to see this cop try to figure out the mystery that he never was able to solve when he was still a cop, while also being able to see Mr. Mercedes' point of view and what he's planning on doing. I just thought it was super cool. Like, it's not your average horror book. It is not your average thriller book. It's not your average detective book. You know right off the bat who is Mr. Mercedes. So it's not like a surprise to the audience when they find out who Mr. Mercedes is. It's more of a, oh my gosh, what's going to end up happening? Are they going to catch him in time before he, ends up killing all of these other people? I am not good at drawing circles, so this is gonna be so much fun. For those of you who don't know car brands, I am drawing the Mercedes. Simple. I want to make it super bloody so it kind of looks like it was carved into my face. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that. It also looks like a peace sign. I'm gonna try to outline this ice cream cone with my beautiful eyeliner that I should sharpen. Anyways, back to talking about the book. One of my favorite things was hands down the characters, but you know, if you've been watching my channel and you have seen some of my Stephen King book reviews, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. One of my favorite things about Stephen King and his storytelling is how in depth he goes with his characters. These lines are definitely not even, but it's fine. He makes his characters so imperfect to the point where it's like, even the hero, you sometimes are like, what the heck are you doing? Like, you need therapy. You need therapy, just like I do after reading Mr. Mercedes. But I have never seen better character development, better character dynamics than in Stephen King's books, and Mr. Mercedes was not an exception in any way. And he made our main villain, Mr. Mercedes, he made him so smart and so broken, and the things that he has gone through in his life, it makes you think, like, can we really blame him for the way that he turned out? I, as a reader, already tend to really enjoy villain characters as is. And what I love seeing is that development of the villain and being able to see where they're coming from, why they act the way they act, what ended up happening, what were the influences in their life that made them think that their actions are okay. And we definitely get all of that. You have a constant development of our antagonist, and I was absolutely in love with it. I think Mr. Mercedes is one of the best villains I have read in any Stephen King book, just because sometimes Stephen King doesn't exactly have, per se, villain characters. A lot of Stephen King books are more like, this is a concept that I'm exploring. This is a government that is corrupt. And, you know, like in the case of it, it's this clown, it's this creature that embodies fear. Like, it's more like fear that we are tackling. Whereas with Mr. Mercedes, it was most definitely a person. So I just thought that was super cool. And I really like Mr. Mercedes as a villain. He was psychotic, really cracked. I did not want to do that, but it's fine. This is where the gore is, yes. I don't know what's happening here. I really want it like smudged, like to look like a bruise almost. But anyway, for those of you who want to read Mr. Mercedes, I highly recommend. It's a very great book. I don't recommend it as your first Stephen King book just because I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but if the concept sounds cool to you, then go for it, man. Okay, this is kind of dope. It kind of looks like it was slit into my face, which is exactly what I wanted. It just took us a while to get there. Question of the century is, why am I doing this at 1 a.m.? That's an open-ended question. I don't know the answer. Ooh, this blood does not taste good. So, that went in my mouth. Get on my teeth. Yes. I look psychotic. Why are you watching my channel? What part of this draws you to continue watching this video? I think this is all I'm going to do on my face. I don't want to mess it up any further, and I think I did pretty great with my ice cream cone. And, you know, I wish it was dripping. Hold on a second. I think my work here is done. All right, folks. At the end of the day, we've created this monstrosity. Mr. Mercedes was a 5-star read for me. Really enjoyed it. It was super fast-paced. If you like thrillers and are okay with swear words and obviously adult content, I would highly suggest Mr. Mercedes. Thank you so, so much for supporting me and watching this, even though I literally feel like I'm psycho sometimes. You all seriously mean the world to me. I love you. Please be safe, make good choices, and I'll definitely see you next time.